Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Romero with Galasso Learning Solutions. On this week's Genuine Learning blog, we are going to be looking at the ASB's Strategic Plan for the years 2026 through 2030. This was issued in January of 2026, and it really comes out of the last strategic plan that the ASB had, which was their 2021 through 2025 plan. And they saw that there was a lot of engagement with that, so they went ahead and they decided to do another one for the next 5 years. But before we move into what that strategic plan is looking like, let's get an idea of what the ASB is. Now, a lot of us are familiar with this, but for those of you that this is a new term to you, ASB is the Auditing Standards Board, and they are a senior committee of the AICPA, and what they are going to be doing is issuing auditing, attestation, and quality management standards and practice guidance for performing and reporting on audit engagements for non-issuers and attestation engagements. So that gives you a little bit of frame of reference of who the ASB. Now let's look at some of those opportunities and challenges that the ASB is looking at and what's kind of driving their strategy. So the first one of these is going to be that we have an evolving technology landscape. I think we can all attest to that we have seen some rapid changes with technology, and so we need to ensure that our standards for doing our attest work is going to keep up with those different technologies that are emerging. We see a growing regulatory environment and some more complexity and uncertainty there. So there is political uncertainty. There's new types of attestation engagements when we're looking at things like ESG. So there's just some different areas that we need to keep aware of. Then we have other complexities and their implications. What's this mean? Well, the business environment, how it's changing, what are some of the areas that are becoming more complex, especially as we're looking at globalization, how is that playing into everything? Then we have our changing information needs of our users. So they aren't going to be looking for the same types of items that we have produced in the past. They might want to know more about cybersecurity, about sustainability, about the governance. So how are we providing that information to the users? Then lastly, we have our expectation of stakeholders. What are they really wanting? Do they want to hear more about fraud? Are they looking at more of those technologies that are emerging? What is it that they are really wanting to see as well? And what do we need to do to make sure that we're engaged with them? So here is the ASB strategic initiatives. So they have a number of items here. They have initiatives A through E. Our first one, A, is going to be looking at developing high quality standards in the public's interest. Our next one is initiative B, enhancing outreach with our stakeholders, making sure we're engaged with them. Next is initiative C, think and operate strategically. Followed by initiative D, to keep our standards relevant in a changing environment. And lastly, we have initiative E, supporting the effective implementation and application of the standards. So we're going to go through a slide for each of these initiatives and just highlight some of the things that are going to be the focus of each of these initiatives in the next 5 years. So our first one, that developing those high quality standards that are going to be in the interest of the public, is going to be thinking about, are we trying to have more convergence with the IAASB? That has been something that has been done most recently. So what else do we need to do to continue that convergence? Are we going to be communicating and collaborating enough with those other AICPA senior committees so that we are going to be hearing what they are seeing in the industry and really applying that to have the standards that are going to be applicable to those? Are we going to be talking to a broad range of different firms and practitioners to really hear all different sides of the story, not just those that are going to be in the room with the ASB? Our next one is having enhanced outreach with our stakeholders. How are we going to be communicating with them? Are we going to be promoting that engagement with those stakeholders and those subject matter experts? What about continuing our active role and ongoing liaison with other standard setters in the US and worldwide? We have seen this happening most in recent years where we are engaging stakeholders more. We are trying to have more surveys and things where people can participate and really give their input and ideas about what they see the future of the profession being and where we might need to focus some of our standards on. Then thinking and operating both strategically. So exploring new ways to maybe work better and faster, seeking ways to think about periodically evaluating or measuring the effectiveness of our strategic initiatives. And then the last one on here, which I think is important to note, is continuing to be data informed in our standard setting process. So keeping that top of mind. The next one was keeping our standards relevant in a changing environment. You can see in that top bullet point that we have the word or the phrase AI in there. So that is important right now, but also, as it says before that, emerging technologies. So right now, that's the flavor. AI is what everybody's talking about, but is that going to be the case in 2030? Likely not. So what other emerging technologies do we need to make sure that we're identifying and responding to see if we need to have any standards in those areas? So just keeping all of that in mind as we're looking at what to do in the next 5 years. Our last one is supporting the effective implementation and application of our standards. So not just issuing them, but making sure that people know how to implement them, and then to see if they are really addressing the objectives that we had been wanting in that standard. Are we going to be able to apply them appropriately? And did they get to the root cause of the issue that we were looking to identify and hopefully correct with the standard and give some more guidance on? So those are our different initiatives that we are going to be seeing out of the ASB in the next 5 years. And here is a list of all the individuals that were on the ASB for 2025 to 2026. There will be new members that will be coming on in the next couple of months. Some of these might also be going off the board, but this is how it sits as of right now and when this ASB Strategic Initiative Plan was issued to the public. Here at Galasso Learning Solutions, we have audit staff level training, a number of different levels here, starting from our new hire in interns all the way down to our experienced seniors to really show them how to do these different aspects of an audit depending on what level they are at. We have sessions that are going to be going from June all the way to the end of the year, so enough time for you to get your team or yourself in these trainings. They are done by the wonderful Jacqueline Vino that is on our team. So just want to provide that information for you. But I would like to say thank you so much for joining me as we looked at what those strategic initiatives are going to be out of the ASB for the next 5 years, 2026 to 2030. Have a great day and we'll see you next time.